The 2023 recession, mass layoffs, bear market, and more. How to prepare for the upcoming year. Have you ever turned on the news recently and have just been ashamed of the downfall of the markets? It seems like just yesterday we were bracing for the COVID-19 crash. In today's video, we will discuss how to better prepare for the 2023 recession. The top tip here that you definitely need to follow is staying employed. This does sound cliche since you really can't control getting laid off. In fact, just a quick Google search for mass layoffs gives you dozens upon dozens of companies who are trimming their workforce. And as Bank of America warns, the U.S. economy will soon start losing 175,000 jobs per month. That's why largest financial losses will come from those who are unemployed and don't sustain their income to continue investing into the markets. Just this month, we've seen Twitter, Amazon, Microsoft, and other big tech companies announce layoffs. But luckily, I'm not talking about your 9-to-5 job. I'm talking about picking up a side hustle. This could be using your skills in order to make money and selling them through an app like Fiverr. This could be flipping items and using them to create income, create maybe a small business, or just it could be something as small as making YouTube videos. But these side hustles should be able to help sustain a steady income in order to pay for necessities. Some of the tips that I've used to sustain a steady income is creating a small business. I've flipped multiple electronic items, and I've used them to make money and create a small little business, and this has helped me sustain enough income. I set aside some income to help invest, and then I set another side to help grow the company. This could be directed towards any type of item. Antiques is a good item to start flipping. Cards is another one, and cars or automobiles. This is a big one, but maybe if you want to help grow or scale like $20,000, you would have to have enough money in order to not care about a couple $1,000 losses, as if you're working with an item with a lot of value, there is a big risk with that. I would recommend starting off with an item like $100 or $200 range and aiming to make around $20-$30 on it, even $10. Every item that you flip, you have to remember that it's going to keep building up and building up. If you're flipping items for making a $10 profit, you flip 10 of them a week, you're making $100 a week. That could be used in investing activities or just in leisure, but I would recommend investing that money that you make from that business. This is just as important as the first tip. It is keeping a 3 to 6 month cash reserve at all times. You always want to have enough money for necessities, and you don't want to be borrowing on any credit cards or taking out any loans. Hopefully you don't need to take out any loans, but interest rates are at all-time highs right now, and they're expected to continue to rise, so you really want to have enough cash to sit on where you are comfortable and don't need to borrow against these banks that have these high interest rates right now to fight inflation. For me, I've been using a combination of hedge positions against the SPY as well as short-term 3 to 6 month treasuries that are paying around 4.3%. You should always allocate at least 10 to 15% of your earned income into a savings account. This could be through a small bank like not a small bank, but JP Morgan, Bank of America, any bank that you use, high-yielding savings account you always want to look for, or investing accounts. You could open this through E-Trade, Robinhood, TD Ameritrade. I would strongly recommend TD Ameritrade, as they do have about $1 commission, but it is more than worth it as they have very good security features. I wouldn't recommend a platform like Robinhood just because it's kind of risky with everything going on right now. But investing your money, no matter what happens, you are always earning something on your money, and you're able to sustain your lifestyle, and you're not able to worry about the upcoming events or anything that could affect your life. You always want to make sure you are staying invested in the markets no matter what. You do not want to pull out money at any time from the markets for no reason unless it is an absolute necessity. In fact, studies have shown those who statistically do the worst stop investing, and that the average investor barely manages to outperform inflation with a 20-year annualized return of just 2.9%. The reason being is because they invest when the market is up and stop when the market is down. Had they just continued to dollar cost average into the market, they would have come out profitable long term. Investing throughout 2023, first, when it comes to building wealth, it is important important to recognize that there's always going to be a reason not to invest. As we've seen the 2019 market crash, we've seen a crazy bull market after that. Think about the people that bought these low stocks at very discounted prices and just have held it. They're still up to this day despite the markets being an economic downturn. Conditions will never be perfect, and most of the time it's best to tune out the news and continue on the same path long term. You also have to remember that investing is not a game. At a certain point, you have to remember if you're trying to beat the market's average, you're either taking a carefully calculated risk or you're making bets. The market average is about 8 to 10%. Right now it's a little lower, but make sure you're staying in that range. If you're not, you're most likely taking on much more risk than you need to, and you will most likely lose money eventually. I'm not saying you would lose money right away, but eventually you would lose your money. Unfortunately, that's a line that's gotten way too blurred over the past few years, and you also have to remember that overconfidence will destroy your portfolio. From everything I've ever witnessed, the moment you think you're smarter than the market and have it all figured out, you've lost. Because it's best to recognize the less you know, the better you will do, because you won't overcomplicate the process or take unnecessary risks. For example, every single study shows the most successful investors just buy a broad index funds on a regular basis, hold for 20 years. That's literally all you have to do, and almost no one does it because it's really, really boring. But you will make money, you will sustain your money, you will grow your money. So that is the reason to do it, despite it being boring. Check your investing account about every month, and you will have to allocate about 5-10 hours a month researching these index funds, and you'll be good instead of spending every day checking your portfolio, worrying about is the market up, is the market down. Don't worry about all that. Just invest in an index fund and you will be safe. The last tip here is to cut out luxuries. This is a very important tip, not as important as the other two, as it doesn't have to do with growing your wealth, but it does have to do with maintaining your wealth. So you want to make sure to cut out the items that maybe you don't need, the vacations that maybe you want to go on but could wait, and the fancy dinners during the week, and also the unnecessary driving. This is a big one as gas prices are still relatively high, and you want to make sure to cut back on any unnecessary driving. This could be maybe going out, picking up friends, anything along that nature you would want to cut out. Items that are bad for your health definitely need to be cut out, especially because they're bad for your health, but they are also a giant waste of money. You are destroying your brain trying to chase a different feeling, but you could be using that money in order to invest, sustain your income, stay safe during the economic recession, and much more. These items are simply not worth the burden, especially during an economic downturn. The moral of the story is always have money to invest no matter what. So to sum everything up, make sure to pick up a side hustle. You could also pick up a side hustle that maybe is part-time, let's say like an Uber, DoorDash. Despite gas prices being high, it is still very profitable, and you're able to work on your own time, and you're able to accept or decline orders as they come in, and it is very worth it if you were just trying to make extra couple bucks. Also, make sure to cut out these items, as we talked about before, that really don't matter, like shoes, clothes, everything along those lines. Really, you do not need. Well, obviously you need clothes and shoes, but not like a $200 pair of shoes that you're going out buying every week. I've seen people do this before. Maybe buying this shirt that really don't need, or buying this house item, maybe like a decoration that is $200, $300 that really you're just doing it for the looks, and you honestly do not need it at all. Items affecting your health, this is just massive. Do not buy it as long as you're staying safe. I mean, you can buy it maybe once a month, maybe after you buy your index funds, you could buy it, but maybe just stay safe, stay along those measures of just not buying it, and you'll be fine, because you won't be wasting your money on it, you won't be affecting your health, and you'll be doing great things, keeping your money safe and staying safe during the economic recession. And with that, I leave you with the news of today, and I'll bring the news of tomorrow in the next video.